The LifeScope PT BSM-1700 series is a real standalone bedside and transport monitor with reliable monitoring that sustains life. This series has a 5.7-inch touchscreen display. Patient data can be displayed in two modes, normal and transport. The LifeScope PT has an optional add-on of SpO2 technology from either Nihon Kohden, Nellcor, or Masimo. As a transport monitor, it can be connected to bedside monitors such as LifeScope G9, LifeScope G5, and G7 or LifeScope TR. LifeScope PT can monitor basic parameters like ECG, temperature, respiration, NIBP, IBP, BIS, CO, ESCCO, and CO2. For each parameter, we can monitor, store data, and set alarms when the patient's condition changes. The transport monitor can also be connected to central monitors and monitors patient data remotely. This is LifeScope PT, model BSM-1763. On the front panel, you can find the power switch, the touchscreen, the alarm indicator, the mode key, the home key, the menu key, the NIBP start-stop key, the NIBP interval key, and the silence alarm key. On the left side, the LifeScope PT has a USB socket and a ZS socket. On the right side, you'll find sockets for temperature, SpO2, ECG blood pressure output, ECG respiration, INIBP, and the battery pack holder. The three multi-connector sockets handle blood pressure, CO, CO2, SpO2, and BIS measurement. When using LifeScope PT as a standalone monitor, it docks in the AC cradle. On the rear side, you can find the AC source socket, the equipotential terminal, and the network connector. To connect LifeScope PT with the AC cradle, just slide it in. To disconnect, push the front lever down and slide the monitor out. Press the power button to turn on the monitor. To turn the power off, press and hold the power button for 3 seconds. In the menu window, there are 2 pages. Touch the tab to change the page. Any window except the home screen and the system configuration screen can be displayed from the menu window. Tap on Menu and Admit/Discharge to go to the Admit screen. Enter the patient information by tapping the items and using the keyboard. After the data input, touch Admit. The confirmation window will then appear. Confirm the message and touch New Patient. To access the Admit screen, you can also touch the patient name area at the upper left. Press the Home key on the top panel to go back to the main screen. LifeScope PT has now started monitoring the patient. To discharge a patient, touch Menu and then Admit/Discharge to go to the Admit screen. Touch Discharge and New Patient. When you discharge the patient, all patient data will be erased. The LifeScope PT series has 2 display modes, Transport mode and the Standard mode. Transport mode is used while transporting the patient. You can display important parameters in large characters and waveforms in a wide area. In Standard mode, you can display all parameters. To access the menu screen, press the Menu key on the front panel or touch the Menu Function key on the touch panel. To access the home screen, you can press the Home key on the front panel, touch the Home Function key on the touch panel, or touch a blank area above the first trace. To change ECG settings, touch Menu, ECG, and Main. You can also touch the heart rate value on the home screen. You will now see the alarm limit setting. You can adjust the upper or lower alarm limit by tapping up or down on each parameter. Choose the desired lead key from the lead box and adjust the sensitivity. To adjust a second and third ECG trace on the home screen, access the corresponding tab in the ECG window and select the lead for each trace. You can also change the other setting on the specific tabs. Follow the same steps to change the SpO2 settings. Touch Menu and SpO2 or touch the SpO2 value to adjust the upper or lower alarm limit by tapping on each parameter. You can also change the other setting on the Other tab. For NIBP, touch the NIBP value and adjust the upper or lower alarm limit. To start a manual NIBP measurement, just press the Start-Stop key. To start the auto measurement, press the NIBP interval key until the desired interval time is selected. Here, you can select the measurement interval, then press the Start-Stop key. For invasive blood pressure, touch the pressure value to change the alarm limit by tapping on each parameter for each IBP label. For a zero calibration, expose the blood pressure line to air and touch 0 cal for each IBP label. You can also perform a zero calibration for all lines at the same time. Expose all lines to the air and touch 0 all. You can change scales, labels, and the other setting from each tab. For temperature, touch the temperature value to adjust the alarm limit by tapping on each parameter, label, and the other settings. Touch the CO2 value and adjust the alarm limit by selecting each parameter. In case you need to use the P910A CO2 sensor. To start the CO2 monitoring, expose the airway adapter to the air and perform a zero calibration by touching AirCal. A zero calibration for the P907 CO2 sensor is not necessary. You can also select each parameter setting on each tab in the Respiration CO2 window. In the event that any alarms go off, LifeScope PT will display a message with an alarm level color, blue, yellow, and red, a specific alarm level sound, and highlighted numeric data. You can silence the alarm by touching Silence Alarm. LifeScope PT can store numeric data and up to 4 waveforms for 72 hours. If you have to use the transport function, please note that the storage capacity is 24 hours. You can review data on the trend graph, the trend table, the NIBP table, the hemodynamic list, recall, the alarm history, full disclosure, ST, 12 lead, and OCRG. You can also print data by touching the Print key in the Review window. To review data from each review section, touch Menu and select the review screen of your choice. You can also switch to other review screens by touching the desired tab. All review screens show the same time data. To review the waveform data at any specific time on the trend table, just switch from the trend table screen to the full disclosure screen. At the trend graph, you can set up to 4 parameters via the Setup key. You can also change the scale setting for each parameter via the Scale key. The time bar is displayed at the lower part of the review window. By touching the bar, you can display the data of a specific time. Scroll the time bar with the left or right key located below. The newest time is displayed in white, while older times are displayed in blue and green. Up to 2 trend patterns can be configured to your needs. Graph 1 and Graph 2 have their own settings of displayed parameters and scales. To change parameters at the trend table, touch the Setup key. Up to 9 selected monitoring parameters can be displayed on one page, and up to 15 parameters by scrolling. You can also change the interval time by touching the Interval key and select the time. To see the trend table while measuring NIBP, touch the NIBP Table tab. At the Full Disclosure window, you can change parameters with the Setup key. Touch the Setup key and select up to 4 parameters. You can select the display time per trace at 4, 12, 20, and 60 seconds per trace via the plus or minus icons. When you tap on the blue frame, the view zooms in on a specific time frame. At the Recall window, you can see the arrhythmia events list with an ECG waveform. You can review more detailed event information by tapping on the waveform. In Alarm History, you can see which alarms have occurred in the past. When multiple bedside monitors are connected to a network, you can access other patients' data by using the Interbed function. You can see monitoring data and other alarms as well. You can see the data of up to 9 other patients on the screen. When you'd like to see more detailed data, such as waveforms, touch the patient bed display area and an individual screen will be shown. When touching the numeric data of the parameter, you'll see its waveform under the ECG waveform. Go back to the Interbed screen and touch X.